E3 was pretty great, right? Best Direct ever! Something else positive. So, how about Pikmin 4? I know everyone's still talking up Nintendo's E3 Direct, but I thought it'd be nice to be very demoralizing. That's what the people want. So what's the deal with Pikmin 4? We heard about it back in 2015, maybe, and it was close to being done, apparently, and then we heard it was progressing in 2017, probably, and we haven't heard anything since. And well, it's 2019. It's been about 6 years since Pikmin 3 came out, and it's been about 2 years since we've even heard anyone mention it. We haven't seen any concrete evidence that it even exists. Is Pikmin 4 dead? Was it ever really alive to begin with? Where is it now? Is there any real chance we'll see a Pikmin game again? Am I the biggest sellout on the internet? Hello all 1,683 of you, I'm Redkwan, and what is the future of Pikmin 4? Now, whenever I make a Pikmin video, I'm very excited. A lot of people think it's because I'm really passionate about the series, but what it really comes down to for me is the people. I know a lot of people really want to see Pikmin 4, and I do really care about getting their views. Edit that part out. Now, I used to be pretty optimistic about this game. Nintendo said they're developing it, well, it must be coming soon then. Now I'm not nearly as positive. Of course, Pikmin 3 came out a ridiculous amount of time after Pikmin 2, so it's not like Pikmin 4 couldn't come out this late, but it does make you wonder a little bit. Let's start with the question, was Pikmin 4 ever being developed? A lot of people seem to think that the quotes from 2015 about the game almost being done were just about, hey Pikmin, and I used to have some reasons why I thought that it wasn't, but that quote clearly wasn't very true, so I don't think it matters all that much at this point anyway. The 2017 quote, though, which said the development was progressing, seems pretty clear-cut. At E3 2017, Miyamoto said that it was progressing, and that was all they could confirm at the time. Hey Pikmin was releasing the next month, so not only would they not say the development was progressing, because they should have definitely had the game done already, they also would have definitely been able to confirm more about Hey Pikmin than that it was in development. It was releasing in a month. So I think it's pretty hard to argue that Pikmin 4 wasn't progressing in 2017. It only makes sense. The real question though is, how much was it progressing? And the answer to that is probably not very much. I used to think that they were just having trouble with development, or that they had to transfer everything over somehow from the Wii U to the Switch, which was a big hurdle in development somehow. But now I don't really think either of those is the case. The Pikmin team is one of Nintendo's best development teams, and I don't think it's all that likely that they couldn't figure out a good way to do Pikmin, or that they would have struggled to bring it over to the Switch, especially when Nintendo has had such good luck with all their other ports. What seems much more likely to me is that Pikmin 4 just isn't a big priority. Pikmin games haven't been the best sellers in the past, although they have sold decently for being on the GameCube and Wii U, and obviously Nintendo will want to put more of their resources into the things that sell the best, which leaves Pikmin 4 without all that much to work with. Now, that quote was from back in 2017, and of course, things can change in that time. Even if Pikmin 4 was progressing slowly a couple years ago, that doesn't mean it's still progressing now. Hey Pikmin was kind of a flop, and while Nintendo didn't develop the game, that could potentially set Pikmin back even farther. And since the Switch has been on the market, Nintendo has seemed different in a few ways, especially in that Miyamoto, who seems to be the driving force behind Pikmin, has been much less prominent, at least publicly. Pikmin 4 was in development in some capacity in 2017, but where does that put it now? Was Pikmin 4 scrapped? Honestly, I don't really think so either. Nintendo scrapping a game and canceling it altogether pretty much never happens, and I can't really imagine Nintendo would stop work on a Pikmin game that had probably been in development for years by 2017. And while Miyamoto may not be as prominent as he has been with Nintendo's past consoles, he still is very heavily involved with the development of Nintendo's games. And from the quotes he's had since Pikmin 3, he seems very intent on having another Pikmin game happen. Now, I am looking at all these quotes on the Pikmin wiki, so there may be a little bit of bias here, but based on these statements, I don't really see this game getting cancelled. It is called the, Wikipedia though, so, yeah. Personally, I think it's pretty darn unlikely that this game was never in the works, and I think it's pretty darn unlikely that this game would have gotten scrapped, even if Hey Pikmin didn't do that well, because the Pikmin series is still decently successful, and it has a huge amount of backing both inside and outside Nintendo. So if the game was started and hasn't stopped, that can really only mean it's still going. And I think it is still going. I think Pikmin 4 is still in development, and I honestly believe that it'll continue to be developed until it gets finished. I'm pretty optimistic about Pikmin 4, and not just because I know I can milk it for views. I mean, that's not why I make these, of course. I just love the series so much. Edit that part out. I just don't think it makes sense for Nintendo to cancel Pikmin 4 at this point. But it's not all positive, because while I think Pikmin 4 is going to happen at some point, I don't think it's going to happen at some point soon. Nintendo said something to the effect of, it's not on the list of priorities in 2016, and if I had to guess, I'd say that's probably still the main issue. There's always going to be a new Mario in the works, there's always going to be a new Zelda, a new Animal Crossing, a new Mario Kart. Pikmin 4 probably isn't ever going to be a huge priority for Nintendo, and I think that could mean development takes a ridiculous amount of time. It's probably a big part of why Pikmin 3 took so long too. I think Pikmin is one of those games that's always being worked on, but never being really worked on. Maybe I'm taking these quotes as facts when they could potentially be a little exaggerated, that's definitely possible, but it's also all we have to go off of, and I don't think they would keep saying the same things over and over again if it wasn't mostly true. I really do think Pikmin is in development. It should be coming along, and Miyamoto will make sure it sees the light of day eventually. The key word here is definitely eventually. After this year's E3, where it wasn't even mentioned, I have zero timetable anymore. They could announce it at the next Direct. They could announce it in 2026. We hardly know anything about this game, and Pikmin has a history of taking forever to come out, so I wouldn't expect it anytime soon anymore. It's a little sad, because Pikmin games really are a ton of fun. They always get reviewed well, the people at Nintendo seem to love the series, and the fans who've played it love it so much they'll actually watch my videos because of it. I just think Pikmin needs a chance. Pikmin has only really come out on the GameCube and the Wii U, and I guess the Wii, but nobody really cares about that, which were Nintendo's two worst selling consoles. If Pikmin 4 came out on a huge console like the Switch, and Nintendo marketed it in the right way to get people who wouldn't normally give it a shot to try it out, I legitimately think Pikmin could be one of Nintendo's bigger series. It has that potential. But if it keeps going a decade between releases, it's never going to catch on, and Nintendo is going to think more and more that it's just a lost cause. It's a slippery slope. The less you make something, the less people will care, and the less people care, the less you make it. If Pikmin 4 takes an absurdly long time to come out, which it already kinda has, there's a good chance there won't be a Pikmin 5. I know that seems a long way off, and people really just care about Pikmin 4 right now, but while I think Pikmin 4 will come eventually, that could very well be the last Pikmin game. So what is the future of Pikmin 4? Well, I think I feel pretty confident, maybe too confident, that it is coming at some point. When that point will be is very up in the air. My best guess would honestly be like 2023, which is awful, that's so bad. But at least it's something, right? Right? And if the Switch is still around, it might finally have a shot at breaking through. It's a little hard to say what the future of Pikmin 4 will be, but I'm pretty hopeful. I like how thinking we're getting a game every 10 years is considered hopeful at this point. Well, I'm Redkwan. Thanks for the views! And, sharing in my passion for Pikmin. Edit that out. So how do you feel about the future of Pikmin 4? Are you much less optimistic than me? It feels weird being more optimistic than the general public. I kinda hate it. Oh, and why is nobody asking anyone at Nintendo about Pikmin 4 anymore? Like, what's the deal with that? Not a single interview in 2 years? Really? Sorry, it's just dumb. Anyways, I'm Redkwan, thank you all for watching, and I'll hopefully see you all later. Goodbye.